This is Get Sellers Calling You, and I'm Beatty Carmichael. Learn more at our website at getsellerscallingyou.com. Hi, I'm Beatty Carmichael, and welcome to the Get Sellers Calling You Realtor Podcast. And I'm excited today because I get to interview another client and just an amazing agent, tremendous volume. And I just did a short interview with him on another topic, and I'm just really impressed. So this is Mike Putnam from Northern Virginia. And Mike, say hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Well, I'm doing really great. I'm really impressed from our short visit just a moment ago and just excited about what you can share with our listeners on this call. So
Sure.
I just really appreciate your time because I know you are busy on that.
I appreciate being here.
Well, also as a reminder for those listening in, this is an internet call. So if there are any internet interruptions, just pardon that. So Mike, first of all, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and your real estate career, maybe the type of volume you do and just anything that might hold some interest?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually been doing real estate, believe it or not, for almost 2 decades. In that time, I've sold over 2,100 houses. Last year, I sold 144 houses. And this year, we're on track to do close to 170.
So if my math is right, that's over 100 houses a year since the beginning of when you started.
Absolutely.
I got to ask this question. When you started the first year or two, how many sales did you do in those years?
My first year that I did real estate, I did 39.
Wow. Okay. So now, you know that's way beyond what most agents even do after 10 years. What is your secret? What are you doing that's driving in that business?
The one thing that I did early on is that, I got on the phone every day and I prospected. Back in, 2 decades ago, I had 2 phones and I would dial one number and dial another, and at that time, I could probably get 200-300 calls in a day. Whereas now, you have auto dialers. So even today, although I've been selling for close to 2 decades, I still make between 500 to 750 calls a day.
Do you really?
One of the keys is just making sure that you're going out and you're talking to people because, real estate is a sales number. The more people that you contact, the more people you get in front of, the more business and more people you can serve.
So walk me through kind of the average day for Mike Putnam. From the time you get in the office, about what time? What does your day look like?
Every day I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I get up, I pray, I do some morning priming to connect to my higher power, connect with my mind, work out for an hour. Get showered, eat, get to the office at 7:30. And between 7:30 and 12 o'clock, I'm on the phone prospecting, talking to leads, talking to customers, have lunch. When I get done lunch, probably somewhere between 1 and 2 is when I talk to all of my current clients and any clients that are under contract, answer any questions that they have. In the afternoon, I go on appointments, and the very few days that I don't have appointments, I get the pleasure of staying on the phone and prospecting until 6:30.
Wow. So you're regimented throughout your entire day. Every group of hours has its specified purpose.
You have to be. A lot of people go into real estate to be flexible, but truthfully is that, flexibility is power, but at the same time, so is discipline. You really have to have the habits. And, one of the things I've been fortunate of is to be mentored by some of the top real estate agents in the country and looking at what they did to successfully grow their business. And I've been able to kind of model and follow what those people did.
Now, is all of your business generated from your phone calls, or are you doing advertising and marketing in other areas? I mean, give me kind of an idea of sources of business that comes in.
We do some Zillow. So I would say probably 15% of our business comes from Zillow. We also, about 25 to 27% of our business comes from past clients, sphere of influence. I think 15% are expired. Probably another 10% are for sale by owners. And then the majority of the rest are us just doing circle prospecting around listings and sales.
Wow. Now, do you have other team members that are on the phone with you during the...
I do. Now, as I've scaled out, I have ISA. So every single day I have 2 people that make on average between 100 to 125 contacts a day.
Okay. So for those people who are either they have their own ISAs, they're thinking about doing that, they want to be a machine like you. Can you give me some ideas? I've always wanted to ask this question. What are the couple of things that you say are most important that you've learned, and what are the things that you can tell us don't do because they just didn't work for you at all?
I think one of the biggest problems that people have is they outsource, the sales process. The ISAs that I have, they've been personally trained by me. You have to realize something in real estate. You need to understand your scripts and your dialogue. One of the reasons that most real estate agents aren't successful is they don't know what to say, and then they don't know what to do. But if you know what to do and you don't know what to say, it doesn't matter how many customers you go through, you're not going to be able to convert them. And I think what a lot of real estate agents forget is that you really don't sell houses. We're selling urgency. Because the reality is that if you can get people to do something now, you can sell more houses. The challenge is that everybody wants to wait. So as real estate agents, our job is to take people that are thinking about doing it in 6 months or a year and have them do it now. Because you have to realize something, the closer people get to making a decision, the more people they talk to, and then you always lose out to another referral. And that referral won't even do as good a job as you in many cases, but they get it because of the referral. Because referral obviously is one of the most important sources in the real estate process.
So this is interesting, really interesting. So when you're prospecting, it's not so much looking for that person that says, I'm thinking about selling right now. You're finding those people and then creating the urgency so they'll choose to sell right now.
Because you have to realize something. I mean, if I talk to someone and said they want to sell in 12 months and I provide them information and I provide value, who are they going to use? See, right. It gives me 12 months to solidify the relationship. Because at the end of the day, real estate, whether you like it or not, it's a relationship-oriented business. And the more trust and the more honesty and the more value you can provide people up front, the better chance you have of converting them long term.
All right, so now with as much volume you have a lot of systems in place so that every prospect kind of runs down its own little chute and it's a consistent system. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you find a prospect, whether it's through Zillow, whether it's through your phone calling or anything else. What's the prospect, like that prospect you were just talking about? They're thinking about selling in 6 or 12 months, so you stay in touch. Help me understand, what are you doing to stay in touch? What type of system do you use? And
it's a great question. My very first year in real estate, the coach that I had said, one of the most important things that you'll ever have as a real estate agent is a stack of note cards. I was like, why? And he's like, any customer that you get, write them a handwritten card. So on every single person that we talk to that's interested, I'll write them a handwritten card that says, thank you so much for talking to me today. I look forward to having the opportunity to help you get your home sold for the best possible price whenever the time is right. Mike, I stick it in an envelope. I put it with a seller package that we have, which basically talks A to Z about the process of selling their house. And then we mail it in a big red envelope that's shiny and you can't miss it. And then we send that out. Now, that whole process is, $3.50. But by just sending that postcard out and by sending out just that package, I would say I probably get 15 to 20 listings a year where nothing more was done, but we send that out, people take it aside, they keep it, and then when they're ready, they call us back. Because, real estate is not always working harder, it's working smarter. So how can we get more people to call us? And I found by writing a handwritten card and providing some type of information up front, people tend to remember you more than just saying, hey, I'll call you back in 3 or 4 months. Because when you call them back in 3 or 4 months, in many cases, they've talked to hundreds of people. They have no clue who you are.
I was speaking with another friend of mine, actually, who's about 20 some odd years in real estate. And he was talking about those handwritten notes. And that's all he does. He doesn't, he just sends out, he calls and talks to friends and sends out handwritten notes and gets a ton of business. So that personal touch is really amazing.
Well, I think you have to do it. What people don't realize now is that the internet has changed the game. I mean, when people go on Zillow, Truly, every listing they call on, they're getting a different agent. So people have more and more agents and information bombarding them. So as agents, you really have to do something to separate yourself. So, the next step for me after I send that out to you would probably be to call you back in a month and say, hey, I just wanted to make sure that you got the package. I'm going to be in your area, sometime next week presenting an offer. Would it be okay if I stop by and met you face to face? In spite of all the tools and gadgets we have in real estate, it is still a people business. And I just like to come by and shake your hand and just meet you face to face. Would that be okay? 99% of the people will say yes. Most people will invite you in. You'll talk to them. And I've actually taken listings at that second appointment without even having it.
Really? Wow. And these are people you found just from circle prospecting and everything else. Just cold prospects originally.
what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to solidify the relationship. I provided them a handwritten card. I provided them information, but I also need to attach a face to it. Again, typically the first person that people meet and trust is the one they go with. So if I can get that in the first month, and let's say they're going to do it in 6 months, that gives me 6 more months to solidify who I am and what I can do for them. So from that point on, every Monday they're going to get an email from the marketing we do. We'll be sending them stuff out once a month. So, our name is going to be in their face, but now they know who I am.
I love it. There's a number of studies, and I don't know, you probably are familiar with a lot of the stats out there, but the difference between someone who's never met you versus those who have met you is like somewhere between 4 and 10 times more responsive in working with you. So just that one meeting is huge.
Absolutely. You got to get in front of people. There's one thing that I would tell any agent is you got to get in front of people face to face. Just talking to people on the phone, you just can't do it. I could do it 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I could talk to an internet lead, send them properties, tell them to meet me at the first property. Now it's non-existent. I got to meet people face to face. And even, the buyer agent that I have, if anybody calls off of Zillow or a property, the first thing that we do is you say, great, let's meet you at the first property. And we just meet them out face to face just to get in front of them. And then we try to find out after we meet them face to face what their needs are. Because, when people are talking to 10 different agents, the last thing they want to do is give 10 different agents all their information. So what you're finding is that the consumer today doesn't want to give you that information up front like you did 10 years ago. So you have to really earn the business, which means you got to get out in front of them and provide value.
You're listening to the Get Sellers Calling You podcast. To increase sales from past clients and sphere of influence or from a geographic farm, learn about Agent Dominator. We guarantee your sales in writing or give your money back. To learn more, visit our website at getsellerscallingyou.com and select Agent Dominator from the menu. And now, back to the podcast. That's really neat. I wanted to share something from years back when we started in what I'll call kind of geographic farming as our primary source of what we did. We were identifying sellers before they came on the market.
Right.
And our typical client would only convert 10% of those sellers that actually went on the market. So, if we identified 10 people who went on the market, our average client would only win 1 of those listings. And as we perfected the follow-up process for our clients over the years, what we found is we got our clients to get if they followed it, an average of 90 to 100% win rate on the listings that came on the market. And would you like to guess the number one thing that was the big difference between 10% versus 90 to 100%?
What was it?
They met them face to face. They actually walked up to the house, knocked on the door, and said hello. Can you believe it?
The most important thing in real estate, and so many people think that technology is taking it away. Technology is making it more important than ever.
So I'm real impressed, even with your Zillow leads, you're meeting them face to face rather than just dropping them into some sort of follow-up system. I mean, you're driving that face-to-face meeting.
Absolutely. Face-to-face meeting is the most important thing in real estate. If you can't get out in front of people, you're not going to sell a lot of houses. And that's why you've seen the production of agents go down so much. The average agent is doing 1 or 2 deals a year, and technology is taking that away. But what people don't realize is technology can help you, but you also have to know the systems. You got to get out in front of people. It's not enough, as I said, just to talk to them on the phone. Because again, most people aren't just going to give you their information like they did 5 or 10 years ago.
That's really neat. So let me go back to your follow-up system, because I want to make sure I'm understanding kind of the process. So your initial touch, handwritten note. I love your bright, shiny red envelope. I bet, do they hold on to that? And do you see months later?
I come to the house, they'll have the envelope, they'll pull it out, my booklet, the seller package will be there, and they'll still always have the handwritten card with the business card attached to it.
Well, as soon as you mentioned it, because I love marketing, I'm thinking, that's brilliant because it stands out. They're not going to throw it away. It's shiny. It's professional. I bet it just sits there, and every time they see it, they think of Mike Putnam.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to think, if you send out 100 a month times 350, that's $350 a month investment, But think about it. If you get 1 deal a year, it doubles its income in terms of what you can get. And, we're getting 15 to 20.
That's amazing. So then after that, about a month later, you're going to call them, be in the area, and just try to do a face visit.
Correct.
And then from there on, your follow-up system, is it mostly automated, or are you still touching them personally with a phone call or note or something like that?
Based on our call after that point, I probably would talk to them like every other month. Every
Okay.
Monday, they would get an email from us. And then once a month, we would mail them something out.
Very fascinating. So now, what have you done that's just been an absolute failure? You say, I'll never do that again. It just, anything that you can share with agents listening that maybe give them some insight on saving some heartache and some heartburn?
Well, I mean, we tried doing like homes.com leads. We did Trulia. Didn't have any real success with that. I mean, as I said, I've never been a person that buys a lot of leads. Most of my business has been generated on the phone. To me, getting on the phone is one of the most productive and one of the most money-making activities because it's free. I mean, outside of paying for an auto dialer, which is $175 a month, I mean, you basically are investing your time to talk to lots of people. I mean, I don't know any other place that you can talk to 20 or 30 people in an hour outside of getting on the phone and talking to people. And what a lot of people don't realize is that with the do not call list, you have fewer and fewer and fewer people that are actually doing it, which is making that activity one of the most profitable activities that you can do. It's actually more profitable now than it was even when I started 20 years ago, because 20 years ago, that's what everybody did. Now you have probably less than 3 or 4% of the real estate agents in the marketplace actually doing it.
Wow. Now, do you worry about the do not call list, or how do you manage your calling around that?
I mean, we can scrub the list, but at the end of the day, there's some people that just don't want to be talked to on the phone, and that's fine. You have to realize, I mean, in any business, there's 3% of people that are looking to do something now. My job as an agent is to find that 3%. So, one of the things that I look at is that last year I took my income divided by the amount of people that I talked to. And last year, for my average contact, I got paid $276. So the way I look at it is that for every no, I'm getting paid $276.
That's amazing. Okay, last couple of questions on just process. So I'm listening to this. I'm an agent. I'm thinking, well, who are you calling? So what are you just doing? Circle prospecting? You calling into neighborhoods? Can you give me what type of leads are you reaching?
The first thing we do every morning is I call expired listings, which are listings that for whatever reason other agents couldn't sell. My job is to call and find out what happened and to see what I can do differently. The second group of people we call are for sale owners, or people that have tried to sell the property themselves, which, this time of year, it's interesting that, as you get into April and May, for sale owners are so confident. And then as you get into June and July and August, all of a sudden they're not as confident. So typically in July and August are two of the most profitable months for sale owners because they've had all summer to do it. And now they realize they can. And so most of them at some point are going to list with a real estate agent. The next group of people that we call are just around our listings and sales to let people know that we just listed one down the street. And we know that statistically when one home sells, typically 2 more will go up in the next couple months. So our job is to find people that are interested in selling. And obviously, since we just sold one on the street, we automatically are able to bring buyers directly into the home.
That's just really amazing. You got quite an amazing system. Last couple of questions, and then I'll let you run. Work and family. Is there a constant juggle, or have you been able to maintain really good balance? Talk to me about that.
I don't know that you ever have complete balance. I think balance to me is being wherever I am. So when I'm at work, I'm at work. And when I'm at home, I'm at home. I think that people forget that, you could be at home for 5 hours and not connect to your family. And you could be home for 2 hours and have the most amazing experience. So, my job when I get home is to really be with my family. The only day that I take off is I take off every Sunday. Every Sunday is my family day. That's the day that me and my family go out and we do our fun stuff. Every other week I take my daughters out on daddy date night sometime during the week. So they look forward to that. Me and my wife go out on a date night with a babysitter every Friday. So, I think in life, if you don't plan those things in advance, they just don't happen. Because at the end of the day, we don't work just to work. Our job is to work to provide better lives for our family. And part of providing a better life for our family is actually being there and being able to experience the amazing life that we're creating with them. So family is the most important thing.
As I'm talking with you, I get this picture of a highly structured man. Everything is focused, and there's probably no wasted effort or wasted minute because it's already predetermined what you're going to do. And I love it.
Because you have to realize something, but that's one of the things with most real estate agents, especially at a high level, that they miss out on is their family. They don't plan the activities with your family. And, in real estate, there's always something to do. I mean, if I wanted to, I could take appointments on Sunday. I mean, there's always something I could do. But at the same time, family is the most important thing to me. I go to work to provide an amazing life for my family.
There's a book that I'd read years back. It's called Boundaries, but the whole idea is just what you're talking about, setting up boundaries. There's always more time you can put in something, but you set the boundary and you hold to it. So
Absolutely.
my hat's off to you on that.
Thank you so much.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else that you'd like to share? Anything else that you think would help our listeners or add value to them or anything of those sorts?
I just think that, right now with the interest rates being so low, I think that anybody out there that's selling real estate really needs to be making sure they're telling the buyers and sellers the advantages of taking rates from 4.5 down to 3.9. I mean, when I'm talking to that with buyers and sellers, I'm able to turn over so many more people by really showing them. Because what people don't realize is that, for instance, in December, the rates were 5% and now they're below 4%. That's a 20% difference in someone's monthly payment. That means people are qualifying for 20% more than they did in December. But a lot of people, they don't intuitively tell people. And our job as agents to make sure we give people the information they need so that they make decisions now, not later.
Okay, so role play with me, or just kind of show me what you mean. So I'm an agent. I hear what you're saying, but I go, but how do you do it? So you're on the phone with someone, you're engaging with them. How do you use that to get them to move forward right now?
Okay, so if you're a seller, I would say, well, let me ask you something. For you, is it more important to kind of take your time and do it, let's say down 6 months from now? Or is it more important for you to put your house on the market at a time when you can get the absolute most amount of money?
I'd say probably at a time to get the most money.
Yeah, and what you may not know right now is that the Fed actually has taken rates in December from 5% to 4.5 down to 3.9. Do you know what that means to you as a seller?
No, I don't.
It means that today a buyer is qualifying for 20% more than they did in December, or their payment's 20% less. In addition to that, the inventory in the area is the lowest it's been in almost 6 months. And you have to realize what most sellers want when they're selling anything are two things. They want low inventory and a lot of buyers. And right now the market offers both. So let me ask you a question. If moving your time frame up a little bit got you a lot more money for your home, would that be something you would consider?
Absolutely.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we set up an appointment tomorrow so I can come out and go over exactly what the advantages of selling now versus later on? Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Great.
Come on over. So it's really just that easy.
It is. It's just providing information and doing it with a smile.
I love it. Well, that's one thing I've noticed. For those who aren't watching the video, Mike, every time the screen goes to you, you got this great big smile on your face. And I remember years back, I had to teach myself how to smile on the phone because people hear the smile and it makes you friendly and they love to do business with you because you're friendly.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't realize that. What you do with your body determines how you sound over the phone. Tonality is such a small portion. It
is. And that smile on the face, I've turned so many, we used to do coaching for telephone sales years back and would turn people around just for one thing, put a smile on your face when you're talking.
That sounds great.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for your time. I know you're very busy at 140 transactions a year. Did I hear that right?
144.
144. Okay, sorry, I missed that 4. That's really amazing, and you're really. I don't want to use the word overuse it, but I'm real impressed. I'm amazed with what you.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
So for those listening or watching, if you do like this podcast, please subscribe to it, like it on iTunes and YouTube, and please visit and like our Get Sellers Calling You Facebook page. So if you want to learn more about us or even how to grow your business, there are some great resources at getsellerscallingyou.com. So Mike, have a great day and thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you've enjoyed this podcast, be sure to subscribe to it so you never miss another episode. And please like our Get Sellers Calling You Facebook page. Also, if you want to increase sales from past clients and sphere of influence, dominate a geographic farm, or convert home valuation leads, check out our Agent Dominator program. We create custom content that differentiates you from other realtors, then use it to keep you top of mind with your prospects with postcards, targeted Facebook ads, email campaigns, video interviews, and more. And the best part is we guarantee your sales or give all your money back. Learn more at getsellerscallingyou.com and select Agent Dominator in the menu. Thanks for listening to the Get Sellers Calling You podcast. Have a great day.